everyone. One of the things that I love doing is making people who hate me more. So because of my recent videos, I received so much hate, way more than usual. So today I'm making this video to receive even more hate because you have to know that all attention, even positive and negative, is very good attention for me. Not because of emotional vampirism, but because if you watch the video and then you write hate comments, I still get paid and you wasted your time. So today I'm going to talk about why boredom makes you a loser in life and why being boring makes you a loser in life, because both of them are connected, because it's the boring people who get bored, and this video applies to both guys and girls. And you're going to see why. Let's go to the guys first because I'm extra mean. There are many guys who just wonder, why doesn't anyone date me? Why doesn't anyone want to hang out with me? And there is this elephant in the room that I experience over and again in fandom and in, sex work and real life in general. Most people who are unpopular and they are single, it's because they are mind-blowingly boring. By boring, there are different categories of boring people, but I'm going to narrow it down to the most common one because I don't want the video to be like 40 minutes long. Category number one, the people who don't have any interests, who are consumers instead of creators. What's a consumer? It's the guy who says, oh, I don't have a music taste, I just hear listen to whatever is trendy. The people who are saying my interests are eating, watching movies, taking walks, and then usually I troll those people when they ask me to message me and they say, message me with the purpose of dating in mind, that kind of messaging. They say, what are your interests in? I say, my interest is breathing and sleeping. And when they say that's not an interest, I say, why? Is eating and watching movies a special interest? For me, at least, to be able to classify something as a hobby or an interest, it must be at least more rare, not something that 99.9% of the population is doing. So when you are telling me that I'm watching movies and I'm eating and I'm working at some kind of desk job because I have no goals and I just need money to get by, I realize that within 1 week, either we're going to run out of things to say to each other, or we are going to I have to be the entertainer in the relationship, and I could never be an entertainer in any relationship, especially for free. In order to do something like that, I would require quadruple digits. So I don't just even start with those people because it's pointless. And okay, I may be an extreme case, but most women don't like boring guys. So if you're messaging me with your whiny stories, because I get so many whiny stories, Persephone, I'm single, help me. Do you have any interests that you could talk about with a woman? And I don't mean pick-up artist interests, because being a pick-up artist, sure, it's going to get you sex if you fake interests, but it's not going to get you a relationship. So I told one of those guys that he was bitching and whining, that he doesn't like clubbing, and all women are whores, and no one likes him. I said, when was the last time you volunteered somewhere? Go volunteer in a hospital, go volunteer in an animal shelter. Those places are full of women, young women, cute women, intelligent women, who have abundance. They give away from their free time. They're not some women doing drugs and throwing up and considering peeing on themselves outside the bar at 5 a.m., something classy, some form of entertainment. Have you ever thought that it's the places you are going and your brain that is retarded and is hearing advice from your also single friends that gets you there? What woman is long-term material for a relationship? The woman who is going to volunteer to help sick people because she's empathic, she has time and money, because in order to volunteer you need money, otherwise you would be working 3 jobs to survive. Or some kind of slut that is wearing a micro skirt. The sluts are going out there to fuck Chad. They don't care about you. By Chad I mean alpha, it's the same term. Over 6 feet, huge cock, bad guy, potentially psychopath. You don't stand a chance. Just leave the idea of the club whatsoever. Go to places with normal people who will want to date you. So next time someone is talking to you, you can bring this up. You can say, I volunteer at the dog shelter and there was this dog and I'm thinking of adopting it. Do you know what kind of pussy catchers dogs are? I gave to one of my exes a dog, and the dog is a psycho. I would actually feature it one day on a video because he has forbidden me of doing it, but next week I'm going to meet the dog and I'm thinking of making a video with the dog. So every cute girl I know stops to pet the dog and listen to the whiniest story that the dog was abandoned in the mountains and we found it, and the dog is so popular that actually his single friends started taking it for walks to meet girls. There was a time the dog was going for a walk five times a day and he loved it. So while you're sitting there doing what everyone else is doing, consuming content and being boring as fuck, you can come to complain on my direct messages that you are single and you need a woman, like I'm always saying. So if you were a pilot and you needed an airplane, do you expect me to provide that? Because those are your chances of you getting a woman with nothing to say and your empty life. Case number 2. People who are not boring because they have no interest, but they have interest that no one cares about. And by saying no one cares about, I mean interest that they're so niche that it's very, very unlikely you're going to find someone who cares about the same thing. For example, I don't know, designing maps, drawing maps, talking about ancient warfare in third world countries. I'm not talking about history in general, but there was a guy who messaged me and he said, I have an interest in ancient Rome, only ancient Rome, out of all the history topics. I'm a person that I happen to love history, but I wouldn't be able to talk about just Rome for the rest of my life, or for the next 1 year, or for the next 1 month. And most women that I know, they don't give a fuck about history. So when you have interests like that, either you have to go out of the way, or your way to join book clubs, history clubs, museum clubs, whatever, online and in real life, or good luck, especially the average American woman, they don't even know where Europe is on the map. So I'm sorry, good luck to you. I don't want to sound too much of a person who brings the bad news, but if you couldn't snatch a nerdy girl in college or when you were young, the older you get, your chances are diminishing. Because the older you get, people start obsessing over neurotypical shit like getting married, having kids. They usually work too much and they don't have time to hang out and meet people, so the normal people are taken fast. So don't come to me hoping for instant solutions. If I had instant solutions, I would be selling them for $2,000 per consultation. I wouldn't be on YouTube. There is no such thing as instant solution. Now, to the ladies who watch me. You want to be a Kingdom Goddess. You want to be someone who makes money being herself, who exists and she's being worshipped. How do you do that? Being interesting is major part of that, because all the BDSM, sex work scene, Kingdom scene is filled with gorgeous women, okay? So what is going to make you stand out? You have to do things, you have to be able to say things that the other people aren't doing. And I know many girls who write, I like makeup and pretty outfits. I know a girl who likes this. Yeah, you're going to get your beta orbiters with that. Luckily for women, things are much easier than men, but you are not going to get the big tippers, or you're not going to get the millionaire sugar daddies, or you're not going to get the men that you want to get talking about makeup and pretty outfits. I'm going to tell you something, and this has to do with making money both online and in real life. The men who have the money are usually older men, okay, at least late 30s. I'm not going to talk to you for you to date 70 years old. If you can do that, you don't even need my advice. Go marry one, wait for him to die, be rich, okay. But the men who are going to be the big tippers, who are going to keep coming back to see you, they are not going to care about makeup and pretty outfits, okay? Usually those men, they could even have daughters that are your own age. So they're not going to hang out with you to talk about the shit the daughter talks about. You have to be sophisticated, classy, and understand what those men care about and be able to participate in conversations, be classy, be someone that she's not just a cam whore to say it like that. And you know, I'm a person that I love using forbidden words. That's why I'm saying gook trash. That's why I'm saying white trash. That's why I'm saying cam whore, incel. And I get hate, but I don't care. It is what it is. We make ourselves what we want to be. Okay, so it's never too late to start being more woke, to start being a woman who is someone that can hold down a conversation and be interesting. Actually, there's a series of steps you need to take in that. I don't want people to do things that they hate to do. But I want you to understand that it would be a great idea if you tried reading some classic books, if you tried understanding politics a little bit better, if you try reading psychology a bit more to understand about... Most people have the same problems over and over and over. For older people, it's usually loneliness, it's loss. They want to talk to someone, they are lonely. I had met a guy who had sent me a shit ton of money and I never did anything sexual for him. He was a guy that he had lost his wife and he just wanted someone to talk to. And he was really deprived of intelligent conversations. So he would pay me thousands of dollars for that, just talk. This is the type of thing you want to do to make easy money and actually make a contribution to someone. Okay, because for me, helping someone going through grief, because eventually he got over it and we kind of, not exactly lost contact, but we talk more sporadically now. This is something that made me feel that my time wasn't wasted because I actually helped the person through grief. But that's not something that just came down to me as a gift from heavens, you know. I have read so much psychology and so much psychiatry that you would be shocked to understand not just people who say, oh, the 5 stages of a breakup. Grief is something much more complicated and it comes in waves and it has back and forth. It's not something that you can just give cosmopolitan advice. So that is one thing that you can do to be interesting. Another thing is, like I say to people who message me and say how to be a writer. Before you write, you have to first live. If you haven't lived anything in your life that is experienced it, that is actually worth writing down, then no one is going to read it. And I'm going to keep emphasizing this from now on. Don't accept advice from people who are cash cows. Don't accept advice that is unsolicited, unspecific, and from a person who has no idea how the scene is. The scene, not just the sex scene, wherever you want to make it and make it big. You have to accept advice from people who are big names already. Because there are so many people, especially the cash cows, this cash cowing epidemic, that they message me with advice on how to run my slaves, how to run my channel. And I ask this person, where is your channel? Where are your credentials? And they say, oh, I don't have one. I just know what you have to do. Those people get blocked, okay? Because they have schizophrenia and narcissism. So when you are going to start in any scene, close your ears to all of the bullshit. Be deaf to all of that bullshit, okay? You are going to do what someone tells you who makes a lot of money or who is accomplished, not something that someone who has no idea and imagines something talks about. Okay, and when it comes to making money being yourself, you need to have life experiences. And it's the first time ever that I'm actually using my bad life experiences for something useful, to use them as an example to explain how I got into some conclusion or what you can do to get out of a situation. But if I didn't have those experiences, because there are people who say to me, why didn't we meet earlier? Why didn't we meet earlier? And if we had met earlier, things wouldn't have worked out, relationship-wise, friendship-wise, and so on, because I was in a different stage of my life. And I'm going to say something that I don't think I have ever shared here. It's Kim who actually encouraged me to get on YouTube. And by encouraged me, I mean essentially he dragged me, because I was a person that at first I was extremely against doing YouTube. I don't like talking about myself. I don't like talking to strangers. I found so narcissistic having to be in front of a camera all day. And if my life wasn't so fucked up at the time, if I hadn't met this cockroach mother-in-law of mine, you would never have met me, probably. Because I was thinking that I need to have tunnel vision like most INTJs do, and I had my own goals, and I couldn't care less. I would say, you know, even if I say those things, would actually anyone care to hear them? Why? Why would they do that? Because for me, I wasn't even using YouTube. I was using YouTube for two things: to watch a video on how to do something, or to listen to specific music, or watch anime. I don't know, watch a movie. I would never watch other people's vlogs because I would say, why the fuck should I care about this person's life? Who is this person again? Someone who is a celebrity. What is a celebrity? I mean, that was extreme autism looking back, but I would say, okay, so this person wore this dress, or this person broke up. It's in a different reality compared to mine, and I don't know them. So why are you watching what did this celebrity do yesterday? It looked insane to me. So when you're actually wanting to make it big, it has to be something that is unusual, something that people care about, something that they most likely haven't experienced themselves, and they want to see a perspective. Because most cash cows, they're going to tell you, you know, you're cooking very well, you're going to start a cooking channel. There are people like Trisha Paytas. I like Trisha Paytas as an example, that she's making those videos where she's eating her junk food and she gets millions of views. So most people are going to tell you, you know, just make eating videos and you're going to be popular. You're not going to be popular. Do you know why? Because Trisha Paytas is a porn star. I don't know if she's still doing porn, but she has done a lot of porn and she built her fan base based on porn. So when you have a fan base that has millions of fans, you can make a video of yourself, just me smiling at the camera, just me sneezing, or just me looking at the sunshine, and people are going to watch and like and worship because they're your fans and they're obsessed with you. So if she was there eating, or when she's there and she has videos cooking at my underwear, people already know her. She didn't become famous from those videos. So just because you're good at cooking doesn't mean you're going to be famous. I make an exception for people who are really passionate about cooking, they're going to extreme lengths, and they say, no, I'm going to cook anyways, so I'd rather be in front of a camera because I'm cooking all day. This type of person actually has chances of being famous because they're passionate about it. But the person who just can cook better than, like my mother, who has 3 left legs instead of hands when it comes to cooking, you're not going to go very far. Maybe you would have 10 years ago when YouTube was starting, but not now. And I want you to understand that. So the general message is, no matter which category you belong, when you want to make it somewhere and when you want to succeed in a goal, not being boring and being interesting is going to help you. Not being more boring. Have life experiences. Try different things. To volunteer costs nothing. I'm not going to give you rich people's advice that, oh, just go on a trip to Africa to have something to talk about. Okay, yeah, if we have 20,000 to spend 3 months in Africa, we wouldn't be here talking, okay? I don't waste money in shit like that. When I spend money, I expect to make more money compared to the money I wasted or I spent. So you're going to understand that you have to be interesting, you have to be classy. When you want to get, you're messaging me how to get a sugar daddy, how to be this, how to be that. A sugar daddy is going to be a guy who's 45. Are you going to talk to him about makeup and pretty outfits and what your best friend did with your boyfriend? No. If the answer is, oh my God, Persephone, now that you're mentioning, I have no idea what to talk about, it's time to be educated. If you're interested in that, I can give you specific advice in upcoming videos on how to refine yourself. And that's the only way you're going to get more than people who are going to tip you 20 tokens and think that, wow, I'm so generous. You don't need people who tip 20 tokens or $2 or stuff like that. This is, okay, if you want to have a fun night to get tips here and there, okay, but your life is not going to change from 20 tokens. Your life is going to change from a person who's going to send you $1,000 every other day, okay? And yes, you can get $1,000 every other day without actually having sex. It's very, very possible. It has to do a lot with how you carry yourself and what you're bringing to the table. Because I'm going to say this last thing to close the video. Men who are very rich and they want a companion. The difference between a sugar baby and a prostitute is that a sugar baby is someone that I know sugar babies because I used to talk to girls from the seeking arrangement and such forums. They are women that you would be proud of to take to your best friend's wedding. You would be proud to take to a Christmas party as your quote-unquote girlfriend. She's not going to be some ratchet lady that you're embarrassed to be seen with her. And when someone is in his mid-40s, the people there are going to be educated. And you're not going to be able, you're not going to talk about white trash things or whatever is trash in your culture. I tend to emphasize on white for the only reason that I'm white, and I believe that each race should speak about their own experiences. I consider it very rude and very stupid to represent other races. That's not my job, that's not my place. I want to encourage people, though, and women from other races to speak about their own issues, their own culture, what's class in their culture, what's ratchet in their culture, okay? So speaking about white people's parties, you can't be ratchet there. You can't go there having long nails with glitter and talking about K-pop and wearing a miniskirt. No one is going to actually think highly of you, okay? They're going to think there's something wrong with you, you don't belong there, and they're not going to invite you again. And those are the people that you want to associate with, not just for money, for connection, for many stuff that we're going to talk about in upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.